For the 29 million Americans living with diabetes, keeping blood sugar in a healthy range is key to preventing or delaying long-term complications. But many don't test their blood sugar as recommended by their healthcare professionals. Joining us today with study results with psychological insights and to help with tools is clinical psychologist and certified diabetes educator, Dr. Bill Polonsky. Good morning, Dr. Polonsky.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
So tell us about these studies. Is it true that most diabetes patients don't care for themselves as they should, maybe because of psychological or maybe social reasons? Does that really play a role?
You know, that is true, and one of the things we're going to focus on is one particular thing you need to be doing when you have diabetes is to be checking your blood sugars regularly. And unfortunately, we know that lots and lots of folks with diabetes really don't check their blood sugars as frequently as is recommended by their physician, or don't do much with the information. In fact, many people get, well, so discouraged they don't really check at all. And we just recently completed this large study, actually the largest of its kind ever done, where we looked at 800 folks with diabetes and surveyed them about how come, what's so tough about checking blood sugars. And they told us three important reasons that make so much sense. You know, one is blood glucose monitoring for many of these people was just too burdensome, just too much of a hassle. A second important reason was that it just felt like these numbers were pointless. They didn't understand what these numbers meant, what the heck they're supposed to do with them anyway. No one really had conversations with them about it. It didn't seem worth their while. And then the third of the three factors was that for many folks, blood glucose monitoring was just really discouraging. It was actually demotivating. They would see these numbers and it didn't feel like anything they did, any of their actions, really made much of a difference at all. It's kind of like, for those of us who don't have diabetes, it's like weighing yourself on your bathroom scale every morning when you're trying to manage your weight and the number never changes. It's easy to start to feel, you know, pretty discouraged.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say so. So what is the message? What do you say we do?
The message we want to let people know is, you know, if you want to live well with diabetes, it turns out that talking with your physician and making sure you have a good plan about, look, how often should I be checking my blood sugars and what exactly should I be doing with this information, is really one of the most important ways in which you can get on track with your diabetes and stay on track. You know, the good news is we have new technology, new tools that are making it easier for folks and addressing some of these important emotional issues that our study found. And one of the tools I want to mention is there's this new blood glucose monitoring system called the OneTouch Verio. There's a couple key features that really addresses some of these issues. So one of them is there's this color-coded range indicator. So when a number pops up on your meter, it isn't just the number you're seeing, it's actually a color attached to that that instantly lets you know that, oh, this tells me that my blood sugars are too low, my blood sugar's too high, or my blood sugar's in this great range in the middle. And we know that about a third of people just don't even understand about their numbers. They're confused. So this helps them to know how to give some meaning and understanding to those numbers. The other feature that we really like, that we think is really great, is that what the meter does is that over the course of time, over the course of days, it takes all of your numbers, puts them together, and on the meter screen feeds it back to you, providing positive feedback. You know, so the meter itself will tell you, hey, guess what? Your numbers have been in range over the past few days. Or, well, they were out of range, but it looks like you're moving into a good range. And again, it's these messages of congratulations, this positive feedback that's so helpful for folks to stay motivated. In fact, we know that's good not just for our patients with diabetes, it's good for us. When we get these messages of congratulations and positive feedback, it helps to energize and motivate us to keep going.
What a cool device, certainly, and absolutely so true, even in everyday life. Just as positive messages and feedback, I think, are so important. So what other advice can you give us for people living with diabetes?
Well, what we do know is that, you know, out-of-control diabetes, if your blood sugars are chronically high, if blood pressure is chronically high, over the course of years, that puts you at really, really high risk for running into scary long-term complications. And that could be problems with your vision, including blindness. It can be problems with your legs, losing sensation in your feet and your legs, even amputations, problems with your kidneys, heart disease, and a whole lot of other things. The good news is that we know with good care and with good effort, working together with a good healthcare professional, you know, odds are pretty good you can live a long and healthy life with diabetes. But that takes effort, and it takes vigilance.
Lots of great information, Doctor. As we close here, where can we go for more information? Do you maybe have a website online that you can send us to get all this information in one place and learn more about how to lead a better life, especially living with diabetes?
Sure. Let me mention two things. One is that if you want more information about diabetes and about the new meter I mentioned, you should visit OneTouch.com. Which is a great source that lets you know about that. And if you're interested in learning more about the emotional side of diabetes, I encourage you to visit the Behavioral Diabetes Institute, which is where I work, and our website is behavioraldiabetes.org. You'll find lots of free print materials, videos, and other things that address this emotional side of diabetes that doesn't get mentioned very much and that we know is so important. So I sure hope this information will be helpful to folks.
Dr. Bill Polonsky, thank you so much for being here today. Great having you on.
Thank you.
We're going to have more on this segment and how you can live better with diabetes at fox4morningblend.com.
We invite you to casino night, but first, one last look at your Fox forecast, and we'll be right back.